Right, hello again everyone. So what I'm going to do now is to, I spotted this lovely view in, I think it was in the Telegraph this weekend. Lovely shot of a lane leading up to Pennygent in the Yorkshire Dales, and I thought that's a lovely composition. It's actually not a bad composition, but I'm not struck on that strip of green there. So what I might do, I'm going to sketch it very quickly in this my experimental sketchbook and have a crack. But what I'm going to do is to alter the, you know, I'm always banging on about, you see a reference photograph and you don't have to draw everything exactly as it is. So I think what I'm going to do is pull the horizon down a bit, because I think it would be a bit more of an interesting thing if the viewpoint was lower down and this kind of, that line dropped down a bit further. So let's see if I can make anything of it, or if it's going to be a complete mess. So there's the lane going up. Let's have a look. There's a kind of a wall there. I'm just using a, what's this pencil? It's a 4B pencil, really soft. What I might do, there's a wall going down. I might try this. Let's start bringing the wall up a bit, and there's that post there, gap in the wall. There's a line across, and that's that wall going down. So then let's see if my artistic license works. Bring that across there, that line across. I think that's a crop of tree, an outcrop of trees there. Let's bring that up a bit and see if I can get this line of Pennygent. Oh, whoops. Quite distinctive. So this won't be a masterpiece by any means, so let's get some paint on. I warn you now, it's cold in my studio at the moment, so the paint's not going to dry as quickly as I'd kind of hoped it would. Cobalt blue for the sky. It's at this point where I'm kind of thinking I should have done this on a flat sheet of paper rather than the book, because this crease is kind of going to be annoying. I can feel it. So let's get the sky on and hope that dries, and then yeah, I've decided since I started filming this, what I'm going to do is kind of just put paint on over my pencil sketch roughly, and see if we can make some sense of it, and then I'll decide at the end whether or not to put some line work on. That's the wall, and that's yet just pure yellow ochre. Let's have some green gold just along there. I think what I need to do is to exercise a bit of patience, because I'm going to have, because it's cold and the things aren't drying, the paint's not drying as much. I'm going to have, oh, do you know what we'll do? And it will do what it is, some overhanging trees there. If the wash is running to each other, so be it. It's not destined for the Royal Academy by any means. Let's have some greenery on there. I'm all for kind of looseness in watercolour, but there is a difference between looseness and just being careless. But we'll see how this turns out. The thing, I think this should still be on camera. The thing I really like about this is the shadow there and this shadow breaking across the path there, which throws everything into light. So I'm working with a big brush. This is a size 12 Kolinsky round from the SAA. Purely because it was the first one I picked up. So what I'll do, I need to let that dry. So far things haven't bled too much, but I think that's the basis of a reasonable depiction there. So let me pause this for now and we'll come back to it when it's dried. Right, okay, that's all dried okay. There's some bleeding gone on, but you know, in the context of the style I'm after, that's not bad at all. So let's get the shape of the files in. I'm just going to use here some bit of an accidental colour happening there, but that's not a big issue. That's meant to be yellow ochre, and there's a bit of yellow crept in there somewhere, so we need some I think this is mainly, yeah, it is vegetation there, trees. So this is my go-to very dark green I'm using, which is undersea green. I'll put that on there and that'll bleed into the, I can see it already happening. But in terms of a look for the composition, I'm fairly pleased with this so far. I've missed a bit of vegetation there, so let's put some more along there. It's probably messed up. Bit more along there. I actually think, looking at it now, because of this that's happened, I'm probably gonna have to go over it with some pen lines. Let's see if this helps. Up the top there's just some suggestion of some, should have perhaps used a bigger brush, but what's this one? Oh, the size 8 etchy one. Let's go off the edge. Some more of the undersea green on there, just to give it some. Again, I hope you've all picked up, I'm actually using a huge amount of artistic license here. To try and get a bit more interest in the composition, and because the brush is fairly dry and the mix is fairly dry, I'm getting some nice, let's do that, get some nice kind of dry brush effects, which if you half close your eyes and squint, could almost look like trees. So there we go, and again there's not much more I can do until it all dries, and I want to get this sense of shadow across the road. I want to get that in. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, no you can't see, let's just zoom across here. I'm mixing in this palette some undersea green. I want a really almost classic cream texture to the to that mix, and then for the shadow across here, sorry, let's go back. For the shadow across the track there, it wants to be a darker shade of that, which I know was come on brain, you see, flipping man flu, it's still fogging my brain. Yellow ochre, so I'll mix some yellow ochre for that. And then mix some neutral tint in it to give it a nice tone of the darker tone for the shadow. So again, no, I'll tell you what, let's put this shadow in now, because it's not going to be horrendously difficult to create. So working right to left, I'm going to put the shadow in down here, and it comes onto there, on the road. What I might do is bring it to the edge of the sketchbook. You see, I'm making a mental note to myself here that if I do one of these again, it's not going to be in a sketchbook. It'll be on a flat sheet of watercolour paper, and then the shadow comes across there and up there. That's nice and juicy. And I may as well take it right to the edge of the sketchbook page. Up there. The thing is, having done all of this now, I can actually feel what's happening to the composition, and I think I've over-egged the pudding as far as too much paint goes. So I will carry on. I'm going to put a tiny bit of shadow there, but this isn't working as successfully as I kind of planned it would be. Nevertheless, I will persevere. And what I'll do, I think, I'll use, this is, after all, this is what you should use a sketchbook for. It's a learning thing. I will actually come back to this and I'll recreate the whole thing. Let's put some shadow on the uprights of these posts, and some bits of shadow on on the stones on this wall. So what I was saying is, I will come back to this and recreate it, but hopefully more successfully, using the lessons I've learned from this sketch, which after all is the point of a sketchbook, to work things out. Put those across there, and this line of whatever it is halfway up pen again there. So at the moment that's looking not too clever in my view, so let's put some, that's quinacridone gold in there, and we'll put a bit down this edge of the road as well. We'll increase this wall up here, look. Put some see if I can't rescue bits of this. No, it's not working. So I'm going to leave this as it is. Compositionally, I think it works, but in its execution, there's too much going on. I've done it again. I've fallen into the trap of too much heavy greenery. So I'm going to leave that as it is and revisit it as a proper painting at some point when this cold's dissipated. So thanks again for watching. I'd keep an eye out for the proper version of the subject.